This video shows how to mount the spider base of the swing-o-matic and the balance-o-matic stand. Delivery comprises two packages. When setting the packages down, ensure that the opening points upwards so that the package labels remain visible. Once you have opened the packages, use the delivery note to check that there is nothing missing from the delivery. In the cardboard box for the spider base, you'll find the cap of the counterweight and the base. In a small additional cardboard box, you'll find the 5 rollers and the counterweight, which weighs 25 kilograms. Remove the protective packaging from the legs of the base and from the cap. Turn the base over and insert the rollers by applying light pressure. The counterweight is fixed in place with a screw as a transport lock. Loosen the screw using a spanner with a spanner gap of 17 millimeters. For subsequent lifting of the counterweight, it is advantageous to place the weight on the packaging spacer that is supplied. In the second box, you'll find the instructions for use and the service manual on top. The kolposcope and the stand are located in a polystyrene box. To remove the box, turn the cardboard upside down remove the plastic film and carefully cut open the adhesive film. In doing so, pay attention to the top labelling. Use the delivery note to check the scope of delivery. The power supply is already pre-installed on the stand frame. To fasten the swing-o-matic stand in the spider base, you'll need the hex screw, the star knob screw, as well as the assembly key supplied. Now take the swing-o-matic stand out of the packaging. Open it as far as is necessary to provide a stable angle for setting it down on the floor. At this point, insert the conical insert with swing-o-matic stand into the pre-installed spider base. Pull the cap over the counterweight. Grease the hex screw with a small quantity of bearing grease. Attach the counterweight to the bottom of the spider base and screw in the hex screw using the assembly key. The screw must be tightened. Erect the swing-o-matic stand with the installed spider base and screw the star knob screw into the column of the spider base. Now take the power supply, the cover and the kolposcope out of the packaging. First, guide the lamp cable through the stand tube. Then, insert the connecting tube of the kolposcope. Then, tighten the clamp nut on the clamp head. Now plug the bayonet connector of the lamp cable into the power supply and turn it until it locks in place. The lamp cable is fixed in place on the back of the power supply using the cable ties. In doing so, ensure that you allow the cable sufficient play for height adjustment. Now connect the power cable to the power supply. Remove the protective film from the kolposcope. The height of the stand can be adjusted. To do so, grip the stand frame firmly and pull the latch pin out of the retaining ring by a small distance. Move the stand to the desired height and tighten the retaining ring again. Carefully put the stand frame back on. The free movement of the stand can be corrected at the clamping flanges using a coin. The swing-o-matic and the balance-o-matic stand are installed in an almost identical manner. However, with regard to the balance-o-matic stand, the transport lock needs to be removed prior to it being used for the first time. To this end, loosen the clamping lever and move the stand frame downwards to a small extent. Ensure that the clamping lever is locked again. The cable ties and the spacer can now be removed. Once the kolposcope has been inserted, check the tension of the tension spring for weight compensation. The tension is preset X works. However, it should be checked again prior to being used for the first time. The tension is set correctly if the stand frame remains in a balanced state after loosening the clamping lever. If it still moves upwards, the tension has to be corrected. Move the stand to the mid-height for this purpose and lock the clamping lever. Insert the hex key into one of the holes in the adjusting collar. You can also use a screwdriver instead of the hex key. Push it through completely. Now turn the hex key slightly against the spring tension, i.e. in an anti-clockwise direction. Hold the key in this position and then pull out the latch pin. Now turn the adjusting collar about 1/4 of a turn against or with the spring tension. If you turn it in an anti-clockwise direction, the tension is increased and the frame moves upwards. If you turn the adjusting collar in a clockwise direction, the tension is reduced and the frame moves downwards. Now reinsert the latch pin. Release the clamping lever and check whether the tension is now set correctly. The procedure needs to be repeated whenever necessary. If the stand is in the so-called park position, attachment points made of rubber prevent the stand from colliding with the stand frame. Upward and downward movement should be avoided in this position, as otherwise damage to the supports and the stand frame may result. Vertical movement may only be undertaken in the extended state.